Welcome, race fans, to Pitside live here at Adams County Speedway, and welcome to you watching on KCSI's YouTube channel as well. It's always good to be here on a Saturday night. This is 4 weeks in a row for us. Mother Nature is being super kind to us. It is the old Chamber of Commerce weather again. We got a nice little breeze to the back of the grandstands, perfect for dirt track racing. Rogan's out there watering, sprinkling the track right now. It is in perfect shape. We have had such great racing all year, guys, and looking forward to another one tonight.
Yeah, we had another good night last week. We had some, I would say probably the last 2 or 3 nights we've had, fantastic racing. The racetrack has been rather consistent, I would say, throughout the last 2 to 3 nights. It's been nice and smooth and slick. The drivers like that when it's a consistent racetrack because once they get the car dialed in, they can kind of figure out what they need to do, and they do a really good job of doing that. Our track prep crew's been doing a great job of figuring this thing out and knowing what it needs. And the floater's going around right now. You can probably see in the background, and he's doing some spot water right now. But Cole was back last week, and we had a good time last weekend. But it was some great racing. I know a couple times there was one, I think it was a heat race, where Brad Bergen thought the checkered flag came out, and you were up there screaming.
I couldn't believe it.
You were up there. I mean, you about took my ears off. I mean, you were.
Yeah, I saw him slow down, and I was like, oh, he's broke, and I was like, well, I don't know. Nobody's slowing down. Like I wasn't sure what was going on. And then the moment the field passed him, he started going again. And I'm like,
you're like, what is he doing?
Well, us as officials were saying the same thing. We thought he had broke too, so we weren't sure what was going on either. So
obviously, you thought the checkered flag came out. There had been nothing that came on the receiver, I know, and the flagman had the white out. So
yep, it happens.
It's very common. I've seen it happen multiple times now this year. Well, it seems like
there was a time at the Dakota Mod Tour where the whole field followed the leader off the track, and last place stayed on the track, and he won the heat race.
I was watching that live. I remember that. I think that was at Mandan, I think. So, but yeah, stuff like that happens. It's just I know. I think what was the thing you said? Pay attention to your flags, kids, or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know if we've asked drivers many times. They can glance at that scoreboard. And that's one thing about I-80. Their scoreboard was awesome because it was right in turn 1, and the drivers could see it head on. And that was a neat deal for them when they were able to get that up there. So there was never a question for them on that. But yeah, it's it's a little harder for our guys to take a quick glance to the left there when they're coming down the front stretch, even though it's a long front stretch. But there's some I know that glance at it and they do it, especially on yellows. I know they do, but. When you're actually out there turning the wheel at full speed, sometimes I don't think it's as easy to do. But I don't know if they mentally keep track in their mind how many laps there are. But
I know some glance over the scoreboard, but our scoreboard's been all over the place this year. Sometimes it lags off, and sometimes it doesn't. So whatever. But welcome, race fans, to Pitside Live. It's May 20th here. It's a beautiful night, and I'm Evan Baldwin, Cliff Baldwin, Cole Hendrickson. So it's. Another great night of racing here at the Speedway. We have a regular night tonight, and then next week is our sprint cars. Looking forward to that. I know we're going to have one here tonight, hot lapping. Josh Mose is going to bring over, I think it's Rick Germer's car, isn't it?
Yep, he did that last year too, if I remember right.
He's going to hot lap just to give you fans that are coming tonight a little bit of a taste of what it looks like to drive a wingless sprint around the Speedway. Josh Mose is a great example of a guy who has a set of cojones and likes to, likes to go fast. So
the track is, normally there's a berm up there, but in 3 and 4, he showed many times that you can go off the top and back around almost up to the berm.
I'll tell you what,
it's amazing. He doesn't keep her going.
We were talking about it earlier with some buddies, and I would not have the balls to race a sprint car around this place. I don't know what you feel, Cole, but man, that is
I was watching. Last week they had the wingless sprints at Eldora. You want to talk about a place?
Was it the USAC series?
Yeah, those guys are just they're a different breed. Just a regular sprint car.
No fear
takes enough guts, and then
they have no fear.
You're taking the wing off, and you're taking all your grip away, and it's I don't know. I don't know how those guys do it.
They're probably pushing, over 100. Down the straightaways
easily because our regular cars back when I used to gun them, they would do 90 to 100.
And you're going into a corner with no wall.
Yeah.
You're going into a corner where it's very tight. I mean, you don't have a lot of for error.
Yeah, I'd estimate if it's a 410, I wouldn't doubt if they were pushing 130 if they can get to their full speed. Yep. I know. I can't remember, like they said, Knoxville, the 410 sprint cars there are pushing 130 down the backstretch. So
I mean, they're full bore around that place. I know a lot of these sprint car guys, if I remember right, the way they drive it is they go into the corner, they let off, and they let the car push up, and then they feel that grip and then go, because again, these are a lot different than your wing sprints, because your wing sprints, you have all that downforce. These, there's nothing. So we're hoping for a decent car count for those guys next week. If you know anybody who drives a wingless sprint, tell them to come down next week. I know they're going to be at Osborne, Missouri at US 36 on Friday night. Yep. Hopefully nothing gets junked down there, nobody, so they can come up here and race with us. So we're definitely looking forward to that for the Western Iowa Wingless Sprint Car Series. I'm looking forward, just to see something different here at the Speedway. And then we also got some great races coming up in June as well. We have our late model shows. We have 3 SLMR shows this year. We got 2 West Series races and then a East and West Series race together. So I know the East-West race, the purse has not yet been decided how much we're paying to win on that, but I know it's going to be larger than the two West Series races alone. So that'll be good. But again, tonight is just a regular night of racing.
And this is our last regular night, technically, because it's jam-packed the rest of the year. You look at the schedule, and, we started off, like you said, with sprint cars next week. That's, it's a big kickoff. But following that is the June 3rd is the Ray Houck Memorial. That's going to be huge, too. And also next week is Memorial Weekend. Hopefully we'll have some more things planned for you, too. The other thing I want to mention real quick, I'm going through the schedule, is we're getting a nice routine of making cotton candy now. So all of you know, we have fresh cotton candy we make ourselves.
We got 3 flavors tonight. We got pink vanilla, which is the light pink, and then there's a little darker pink. That's cherry. Yeah. And then our blue is our blue raspberry.
It's a hot commodity.
I've been sampling as I've been making. So
I think Lance, our director for our head of our security safety in the track, he's gonna maybe take some of the infield early on and sell some over there. I said, if you do that, you'll sell out in a hurry, I think. But that's one thing we're announcing, to make sure you check out. We've been selling out, so we're adding more every week, and we've been selling out, so it's a hot commodity. But maybe we'll do some special colors next week for Memorial Weekend. After that, like I said, the Ray Houck Memorial, our first Super Late Model Series, is coming up, followed by Tri-State Night and the E-Powered Series with the little kids. That's a huge night as well. Follow that up with Hall of Fame Night on June 17th. That is a major night. That is a fun night to be up here. A lot of nostalgia. I love interviews for that night. It's a great group again this year, and there'll be a lot of stories that'll be told. And for that night, I always look forward to that night, as most everybody else does. Follow that up with Aiken Building Center, nice local sponsor. They do a lot of giveaways for us during that night on June 24th, and that brings us back to our second SLMR race with the Karen and Gail Hampel Memorial, along with the modified series with
Underdog 22. So it'll be extra money will be added to the modifieds that night too. I know it's going to be at least $1,000. So
and then after that, we start doing our King of the Hill stuff, and end up with another SLMR on the 29th of July. But the rest of the year is big sponsors, big nights, big entertainment. Will be our trucker night in there. That's huge. We have the major night, of course, is our free night with the Salute to Farming on July 8th, along with the county fair. That is such a major night, and we got some special things planned. And just to make sure we understand, everybody wants more for their buck, and we're always trying to find new avenues of entertainment stuff. And I think you guys threw some things together for tonight. We'll surprise you with. Hopefully that tonight.
We're doing a little bit of a game at intermission again. I'll just let it be a surprise. It'll involve 6 drivers and 6 kids who will sign up at the concession stand or at the souvenirs trailer throughout the night. The souvenirs stand will be asking kids between the ages of 7 and 15 if they want to participate in the event. So we're going to get 6 drivers and 6 kids, and we're going to play a little game out on the front stretch. I'm not going to say what it is yet because I don't want the drivers to know what it is. So.
Or the kids.
Yeah, so it'll be a fun game though. Just something to get the drivers and the fans a little bit more involved and a little bit of entertainment during intermission, because we've been doing a great job of pushing our heat races through. I mean, last week we got done at 7:45, so we had 20, 25, 30 minutes to kill just with intermission stuff. So we got plenty of time to do things, and again, we want the fans to get the most bang for their buck. So more entertainment, the better for sure. And we're just we're thinking about coming up with some different stuff to do during intermission. I know maybe karaoke contest with Cole or
nope.
Or yeah, I hear you do that.
Oh, I do not. Maybe in the shower, but
we could we could maybe do get an iRacing simulator out there someday and do a 1v1 or something.
We go. Bring your kids. I'll smoke your kid on it. I'll show them how it's done.
No, but we just we want to get back to what before COVID, what we used to do, which we had a lot of different giveaways. We had our bike giveaway every week. We had our junior speedster stuff. We had all that kind of stuff, and then COVID kind of put a halt to all that.
Yep.
And we kind of lost all of our I would say consistent support on that because of COVID. And now we're trying to get back into it, but it's a lot more difficult than it looks, because when you're trying to do all this giveaway stuff, you got to find the right sponsors and the right stuff to give away and stuff like that. So we're starting simple and
headed up. So for some reason I'm going to have a little more time on my hands here after this week, and hopefully I can start heading up more of those things like I used to. That's kind of my plan. And
you're officially old. You're retiring.
Yeah, I know. So, that's it's a big secret anyway. So, yeah. But anyway, also quick to mention out there for everyone, I want to congratulate all the graduates out there. All you senior graduates. It's awesome. I know we've had a lot of college graduates, but I know there's a lot of graduation parties tonight. Don't hesitate to come on down to the track after you've celebrated your graduation this week. Those of you who have graduation parties tonight, I know most of the area schools are graduating tomorrow, so congratulations to all those seniors with their great accomplishments.
Yep, I want to give a special shout out to my seniors at Lenox. I teach over in Lenox, so special shout out to all of my seniors over in Lenox, and hope you guys have a good weekend and good luck this summer. I know some of you still got baseball to go, but I also want to say congratulations to our Lenox track team at state today. I know Gabe Funk got second in the 110 highs. Our shuttle hurdle team got fifth.
Oh, that's good.
That was with a alternate, because one of our main guys got hurt.
That was unfortunate.
Yep. So congratulations to all those guys. I know we had some other PRs as well, so congratulations to all those guys as well. Up the Blue Oval up in Drake. So again, school's going to be getting out here soon. This week, I believe, is pretty much the last week of school for pretty much every school in the area. I know teachers will be getting done probably after Memorial Day. I think every school is pretty much doing that. So, but the kids will be getting done this week. So pools are going to start opening again, and hopefully you choose us for your weekend entertainment. Bring the kids on down and make sure that you make us a weekly deal. So I know the Corning pool over here. I know Kendra really appreciates having a pool right next to a racetrack, because she cleans you can only imagine how much dirt she cleans out of that. Yeah. I don't know whose idea it was to put a swimming pool right by a racetrack.
I remember as a kid going down. Well, I wasn't quite a kid anymore, but I remember going down there. On Sunday after the races, you go down the slide and you could just see all the dirt on top of the edges of the slide. I'm like, the poor.
Was this the new pool?
Yeah, this is when it was new. I'm like, oh man, I feel bad for who has to clean this thing.
She definitely tells me that she cleans a lot of dirt out on Sundays. It's incredible how much dirt gets over there in that pool. I can only imagine. I mean, our pool at home gets dirty, and I can only imagine what that thing gets like.
She's got to love when the wind's coming from the north.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a good win for her tonight. So anyway, I tell you what, I'm going to give my computer a test out here and see if we can go to commercials like we're supposed to here.
Hopefully,
I've been trying to make sure
it refreshed.
Let's see if it does here, and then we're going to come back and start discussing last week's races and hopefully have our first guest. So let's see if this works real quick, and we'll be right back with you.
Subscribe to the KCSI Radio YouTube channel today. Interviews, parades, events, contests, and more. Subscribe to KCSI Radio on YouTube and get notified every time something fun happens.
What if we could harness the power of the sun by using the earth to transform the way we use energy? Water furnace geothermal systems are simply the most efficient way to keep your family comfortable. Winter or summer, day or night, rain or shine, without burning fossil fuels, giving you the freedom to focus on life.
Call Camlin Mechanical or visit camlinmechanical.com for your water furnace needs today.
Even if it's been years since you graduated, your college team is your team for life. Well, you can have a Farm Bureau agent for life, and auto, and home, and business insurance. Imagine that. One insurance agent for everything. It's that simple. So get a Farm Bureau agent for life.
Contact Farm Bureau Agent Elizabeth Davison in Clarinda and Shenandoah at 712-621-2878 for all your insurance and financial needs.
Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Property and Casualty.
Are you interested in starting a career instead of just getting another job? Well, hop on over to Fresco System USA and let us help you find the one for you. We offer competitive wages, benefits starting day one, and so much more. You can pick up an application at 2026 Fernwood Avenue, find us on Indeed, Better Team, and Facebook, or call 712-623-8100, extension 6659. Spring into action and join the Fresco team today.
No matter what your insulation needs are, Heartland Foam Insulators is your go-to company. From removal to blow-in to foam, they are ready to go to work for you in any type of building, whether it be an existing house, new construction, a metal building, commercial building, or a unique project.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live here at Adams County Speedway, and also you YouTubers out there. Welcome to getting to see us face-to-face here. Once again, big thank you to Malvern Bank. Jay Burdick is such a great help to this track and the racing in general. Can't thank him enough for all that he does for us here at Adams County Speedway and racing, sponsoring the Super Late Model Series especially. You know, he is such a great person to have backing us here at racing. Can't thank him enough. Best Auto Finish in Glenwood as well, Aiken Building Center, Elizabeth Davis on the Farm Bureau, and Heartland Foam Insulators. Thank you very much to supporting KCSI and Pitside Live. We really appreciate having you on board. Tell you what, guys, racing last week, I know we just briefly mentioned a few things, but compacts are Floating Vine Compacts. Can't say that enough. Also, as our new sponsor for the compact division.
Got the sign put up this week.
They got their big sign up. Everything's up for them now. Really appreciate that. But Floating Vine, really appreciate them and our compact sponsor. But it was a great race last week. You know, there's a big mob up there early on, and those guys are turning the wheels pretty fast out there. But you know, very impressive, and great to see Andrew Akers get the first win this year. I think he's had one before, if I remember right.
I think you know.
We'll ask him about that.
I think Luke. I messaged Luke to tell Andrew to come up here. Hopefully, he's coming up here. Okay. I hope he's able to come up here once they get here. They're not here yet, yep. But it was a good race last week. Andrew was up front, and he had never won a race before, and he told me he had replaced 2 motors already this year, so he definitely deserved it. But he had to hold off John Berg there for a while, and then he made a great move there down the front stretch there right at the last lap, and just, you know, cut him off there on that run. He knew he was there, and, you know, cut him off, and that's what you have to do to win the race. So John came over and congratulated him in victory lane, which was awesome. So it was a very good race. Our compact classes impressed me. I would say our compact class has probably impressed me the most this year of how good the races have actually been, because a lot of times, you know, they get kind of spread out, and, you know, there's always about 1 or 2 cars that are, you know, leaps and bounds better than everybody else. But this year there's 5 or 6 of them that put on a really good show up front, and you know, I always say, again, if you're a newcomer into racing and you're thinking about getting a compact, you know, just go ahead and do it. It's super fun and it's cheap. So yeah. It's an entry level class. It always will be, and I know it'll be. I know they're going to put on good races all year long, and they've impressed me. I know they probably impressed you. So
yeah, no, it's been some great racing. I think a lot of the reason the racing is so close is just like a lot of these guys, they help each other out. So, and I know a lot of them say all the time they want to have good races for the win. They don't want to just go out and, you know, I mean, a race win means more when you got to battle for it, not just run away with it. So, yeah, I know those guys help each other out a lot, and that's good to see. You know, that's what racing's about. You know?
And I said it last week on the radio show too that I feel like our compact drivers have really stepped up their game equipment wise too. Because I know in the last several years we've had guys with frames that are Swiss cheese and stuff that's not up to par safety wise. Frames and stuff that's just like that are cars that they have no business running in. I feel like all of our drivers this year are really stepping up their game with their equipment, and they're taking care of their stuff, and it shows out on the racetrack because we've got guys who are improving every day. We've got guys who are taking care of their stuff and not beating and banging on each other. I know there for a while when the compacts first started, we were having rollovers all the time. We were having unnecessary wrecks for guys who spin out all by themselves and things like that. So there really hasn't been that this year. It's if there is a yellow, it's a racing deal, which happens. So I feel like our compact class is I felt last year that our hobby stock class was the most improved and great racing. This year so far, it's been our compact class. They've been very impressive this year, and I've appreciated the show they put on for sure. So.
And then speaking of the hobby stocks, geez,
yeah,
Chat Mobility hobby stocks, man, they've been putting on the shows all year as far as I'm concerned.
Our hobby stock, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if I'm biased.
I mean,
there is not a racetrack around here, and I watch them all. There is not a racetrack that puts on a better hobby stock show than right down here. I don't care what anybody says. I watch a lot of racing around a lot of areas, and this racetrack is perfect for hobby stocks. I mean, they put on a whale of a show.
When's the last time you've seen Luke Ramsey finish ninth and still be running just fine?
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, and I mentioned that while they were racing. I said I don't even know if Ramsey knows how good his car is because they were 3 wide, 4 deep in front of him. He had nowhere to go. He couldn't.
What was that one time you were calling it, and they were 4 wide all the way down the front stretch, and they didn't even touch.
There was 2 rows of 4 wide out of 4, and nobody touched. Everybody held on to it. And I mean, we had a couple close calls, but when you have that many cars around each other, they're going to. But they hung on to it, and I mean,
and
I couldn't believe it.
What people don't really understand too, and I got to thinking about it too. It's like, you got these smaller racetracks throughout the state of Iowa where they're not going that fast. Yeah. When you're going at a high speed here at the Speedway, and they're doing stuff like that, that is so impressive, because you are going so fast, and you have less reaction time because you're going so fast. They're just I don't know. It's something that is just very, very impressive to me, that the show they put on, and they don't beat on each other. They don't. I mean,
well, sometimes.
Well, but not like
yeah.
They're not junking each other.
No, they're not.
I mean, and it's just outstanding. I mean, exactly. Last week, our track champion Luke Ramsey, every single week he starts, middle of the pack, it seems like, and he's always up there at the end. And we were looking for him, and he just, I mean,
he had nowhere to go.
Right. I mean,
it was a tough going for him.
Right, and some guys that I'm looking at, I mean, you got a lot of youngsters. You got Tanner Dixon, who's always been consistent for the last couple years. You've got, Chris Foote, for God's sakes.
Yeah, he had a great run.
I mean, Chris Foote started, he was the type of guy that started and just really struggled to finish, and he got 6th last week. I mean, great run for
Eric
Chris.
Hensley started on the pole, and he led the whole race, but the thing is he didn't get away from anybody. Everybody behind.
They were all right
there. There's 22 cars out there, and seriously, 20 of them easily could win this thing.
Oh, yeah.
They're that good. I mean, that's just how good they are now. And there's a lot of guys that finished. I'm looking at 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. All those guys are former winners. You got Weeda finishing 16th, Jim Toll. It's just amazing. You look at those guys, and it was racing throughout the field.
Well, and we had
all night long.
We had Cody Pontius, who comes down from Sac City. Really appreciate him coming down, and he's always a fast runner too. And he had drive shaft issues in the heat race, so he didn't even get to start the feature.
Yeah,
and Anthony Fletchall's always strong too, and he didn't finish last week. It's just our hobby stock class is just outstanding, and it's something that I really look forward to every single week is our hobby stock feature, because I know no matter what the condition of the racetrack is, it's always going to be a good race.
Yeah.
Even if you've got a class that's running Hoosiers, that's one lane around the bottom, let's say. The hobby stocks run a totally different line because of their skinny tire, and you can't do much to the setup, so they're always guys that are moving around and trying to find speed, and they're always putting on a great show every single week. And again, I cannot stress that enough. If you've never watched a hobby stock show down here, you're missing out, because it is incredible racing.
Well, and speaking of our hobby stock drivers, Luke Ramsey, he went up to Stewart on Wednesday, got himself a win. And then David Schwarz also picked up.
Yep, we had a couple of our Adams County regulars.
Buck won, kind of a part timer down here, but still comes every now and then. So Adams
Buck
County
won again. Yeah, that's right. And again, I talked to Buck last week on the show about that, and it's always good. I always root for our local guys at other racetracks, and it shows the amount of talent we have down here.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows the talent, because look at the difference in track. You're going from the biggest racetrack in the state of Iowa to probably the smallest. I mean, Stewart, I don't think there is a smaller track than Stewart. I really don't. I know Benton County is called the Bull Ring, but Stewart's smaller than Benton is. So it's that just shows the amount of talent, because a lot of our guys do race Stewart and here weekly.
Yeah.
And it just shows the consistency that we have with our drivers. It shows the versatility they have, being able to change. Just very impressive. And I know old Flying Farmer won from the pole, but I'll give him crap for that. But he still won.
Yeah.
And he had a great run last week too. Back to our B mod.
That's what I was going to bring up next.
Our B mod feature was outstanding.
Our Riley Auto Parts B mods. That's what I was going to bring up next. You guys mentioned David Schwarz, and I thought he had one last week. I really did. I think it would have been his first here as well, I do believe, but I really thought he had it. He looked really good up there for a long time. And there's a lot of hard chargers back there. Hunter Poston is just as well. He ran so well last week. There's a lot of guys, and then you look at Jared Weston, who I don't think he's struggling. It's just those guys have caught up, and they're that good. And Jared finishing 5th is amazing to me also. But he started 12th, got up to 5th. But
I know Jared's been having some issues with the car. I asked his mom about it a little bit, and he's just been having some issues with setup and things like that. So
he's one he'll figure it out.
It's funny you mentioned that. Actually, we were discussing that in a group chat this week with Hunter Poston. He was talking about lap times from last year to this year. And he did find the spread throughout the whole field is a lot tighter this year than it was last year. So,
guys are starting to figure it out.
A lot of guys starting to figure it out. You see, I think last week that was probably one of the best runs I've seen Hunter put down. And
yes, it was.
Unfortunately, he hurt a motor last night, so he won't be out here tonight. But Matt Avila, kind of a last lap pass there.
I'll tell you what, man. If Matt could run here weekly, he'd be a contender for the points championship.
Oh, yeah.
He's running a rage that I know that John Logue's helping him with, and that man, he's good at other racetracks, but down here he is just obviously this is his home racetrack, but he's better at this racetrack than any other racetrack. I don't know what his opinion is, but I've watched some other racetracks. He is really good down here, and he was good in the stock car too.
It's pretty incredible too, because for a lot of people that don't know, he hasn't been racing that long.
No, it's only been
probably 2.5 years.
I don't think he's. I don't
think that.
I think a full year in the car. He raced like maybe 3/4 of a year in a stock car one time, and I think the last 2 years he's been in a sport mod. But he's only been racing for a handful of years.
That's pretty impressive to be able to hop in a car and get up to speed.
He can drive, man. He knows what to do. So
yeah, absolutely. There's such a good group of cars in there, and another one that, to me, to point out is a guy that showed up this year, going to be hopefully racing all year the way he sounds, and that's Kevin Zeitner. And last time he was here a couple years ago, or what it was, he showed up the first 2 races and blew everybody away, and then he's come back and racing with us, and he's figuring it out because he's moving up, but he hasn't had the greatest finishes so far this year. But
I'm not sure if he's running a new car or not. I know he's still running a Razor. I haven't really asked him. I don't know if it's, again, he's a really talented driver from that that's ran around the area. He's been running at I-80 a lot, in the past. He's ran at Harlan the last couple years. He's one of those guys that's always going to be up there, and I think once he starts figuring out too, that's just another guy that's going to be right up there. So
well, that's the beauty of dirt racing. You can win one week and show up the next week and get 15th. We were discussing that with some buddies. Like, we were watching the late models, Lucas Oil late models. JD got lapped last night. I mean,
oh yeah. I was watching it too, and you got James Essex on the mic. He's like, he goes the 49's going a lap down, and I literally said, I was like, you don't see that very often.
Yeah, it just shows how tough dirt racing is. I mean, you're off by just a little bit, and that could mean the difference between winning and
you have to be. And the technology is ever changing. You have to be on your game every single week, especially at that level.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at guys like Hudson O'Neill, who went from Double Down Motorsports to House Rocket Team. Look at the difference already.
Yeah,
it shows that he is so talented, but that team, man, is just incredible. I mean, you look at how many wins Brandon Shepard had with that team. He's the winningest driver of all time in World of Outlaws. It's the same thing down here in local racing. When your team has it figured out, you're successful. And when you are on your game and you know what to do and you know what your car is going to do and you put in the time throughout the week, that's when it shows on Saturdays. If you want to be successful in this sport, it's just like any other sport. It's for all you high school kids out there. It's just like any other sport. If you want to be successful, no matter how talented you are, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the effort. You can't just half-ass everything. You can't.
It's just like a lot of them we've interviewed. They go to those off-season seminars, and you have to do that. I mean, to keep up with the technology and everything. That's what they're for, and we've heard. I know we had Brad Derry up here. He says you're crazy if you're not going to those. You're going to be out to lunch, and you've got to keep up, and that's the only way you can do it with those guys.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, I think it won't be long before Kevin is up front battling. Those people that know him, he'll be up there soon. So just that's how it is sometimes.
And quickly go to our Northland Oil stock cars. Buck was able to be here again last week, and I was going for 3 in a row. I thought for sure he was going to do it, but Brock Badger got out there, and he looked smooth last week.
Well, Josh Most builds his car, and he's got, obviously, Brock and his dad and Josh are figuring something out because that car is fast, and I think that's the only Edge chassis stock car that I know of.
Yeah, possibly. I thought maybe I'd heard there's another one out there, but I don't know for sure. Well, I think Josh has one, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think you are right. Yep.
But I could be wrong on that.
But I know they got something figured out there with that team as well. I know a guy that's I would say considered struggling this year is Brad Derry. I know he's not not had the success that he's like to have because he's been good for so long here, and I know he's been having some motor issues, but last week he got third. He was back up there again, fighting, competing, and things like that. I know this is his newer car. His older one's still back at the shop, but this is the newer one, and I know he's still trying to get stuff figured out. Then you got Scuba's been doing good this year. Just, again, we're just, hoping and praying that we can get some other guys that are willing to come down here in our stock car class, because it'd be great racing. It always is.
Put on such a great show. That
I just say it every week, and I always like to talk to stock car guys at other tracks and say, hey, what about coming and trying Corning?
It's so we put on a great show. And then finally, to wrap it up with our classes, our Poet Buyer Finding Modified. What I noticed last week, Hayden Johnson got a heat race win,
second heat race win of the year.
He followed that right up with he led long time in that feature, and Jesse got up there, and it got up there, and then I looked and we're all like, it's over. But I tell you what, Matt Bodine come down here, looked awesome, and then followed up, Jeff Wiggins, the Candy Man. He gave Jesse some. He showed him his note a couple times at the end, and it showed him that this wasn't a runaway. So that was what was awesome too. So tell you what, folks, we're gonna
take a little break.
Yep, we've yacked long enough. You guys have heard us long enough. Hope we're gonna have a guest here. So tell you what, we're gonna take another quick break, and we'll be right back here at Pitside Live.
Since 1892, Malvern Bank has been building community from 404 Main Street in Malvern, Iowa. For generations, Malvern Bank has been serving local businesses, families, and farms to help them achieve their goals in every step of their lives. From saving for college to planning for retirement and everything in between, Malvern Bank is your full-service community bank, here to help as you plan for the next chapter of your life. Call, click, or stop in today to apply for an account, loan, or credit card. Malvern Bank, we build community. Member FDIC.
Furniture, appliances, mattress sets, lift chairs, bedding, recliners, and more. S&S Appliance, your hometown furniture store in Clarinda, just received a large shipment of appliances. They have a huge selection of stoves, refrigerators, chest freezers, and microwaves. And if you need a mattress set, they have them. Plus bamboo sheet sets. They offer full service from start to finish with competitive price guarantee. S&S Appliance also offers delivery and installation. Stop by S&S Appliance on the square in downtown Clarinda.
This is Josh with Shore Motor Company in Clarinda. We want to be your GM dealer. We have highly qualified and trained technicians ready to work on your vehicle. Anything from recalls to warranty work and beyond, we are your GM dealer. Our service department is open 6 days a week for all your service needs. We even have an express lane for those no appointment quick oil changes. Visit our website at shoremotor.com to request an appointment or give Mike or Amanda a call at 712-542-6581. We are your GM dealer. Shore Motor Company, just south of the square in beautiful Clarinda.
Just as your local State Farm agent teams combine good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates, you can combine your home and auto. And guess what you get? That's right, good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. This is your local State Farm agent, Dave Carball, and we promise to deliver the service you deserve at the price you want. My State Farm.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live here at Adams County Speedway. Glad to have you aboard. Also, you YouTubers, welcome aboard as well. Get to see our lovely faces on camera now this year. So really,
yeah, lovely.
It's a good thing. I know. I think it's a little darkish. That's okay, but maybe we'll put some light on it.
We need to get one of them fancy circle lights.
Yeah, we'll go with them circle lights.
TikTok lights.
Whatever they call those things. And I'm not doing no TikTok videos, though, but whatever. Anyway, once again, thank you very much to Jake Gillespie, Farm Bureau. Great fan here at Adams County Speedway. Love to have you on board there, Jake. I know you're here quite often with your dad and family. Really appreciate you coming. Fresco Systems out of Red Oak, once again, thank you very much. Maddox Roofing, State Farm, Dave Carball, and S&S Appliance. And a real quick mention also to Primrose Restaurant. That commercial makes me hungry, so it's usually about this time of night when we hear that thing, and it makes me hungry. And great place to eat here in Corning, Iowa, so don't hesitate to check them out up on the main drag on Davis Avenue.
A couple questions here. I got
okay, great.
Pam Witchman commented on here and said grass looks good. Jimmy's out there.
That's right, it does.
And I want to give another shout out to Matt Johnston. He was here Thursday night spraying.
Yep.
He sprayed for dandelions, so
Matt's
appreciate
down working our beer stand tonight, so really appreciate that.
And Britt Schwarz is saying live stream again tonight. Not tonight, Britt. We're not live streaming tonight. I know. Speaking of that, I was just going to mention that quickly. The audio wasn't the best, and we know that.
We know that.
I know. I figured out that the sound box that we use here is a little bit cheap, but again, it's something that we're going to keep working on.
We have budgets, but yeah,
it was a free stream, so
it was, and
it was something that we're trying to figure out. I know a lot of people did appreciate being able to watch the races from out of town and things like that. So
big thank you to Aaron and Melanie.
Oh yeah,
the West family and KCSI. They are such a great group to work with, and we really appreciate them so much. And this is an experiment thing we're doing right now, and I know they enjoyed doing it. It was a learning experience for them. It's going to be when we do this off and on this year. But we're working on it. We're going to get better at it. We'll get that fixed, too, as well, because, we know that's the future. I mean, I just know it because I live with somebody, and that you are always, every night there's a race on. I mean, it's just incredible. I know you watch it, too. It's like
I haven't watched TV since I moved out 2 years ago. So yeah.
That's the thing. People talk about cable, and your generation, like, what are you talking about? I don't do cable. I subscribe to this, and I subscribe to this. I'm like, wow.
It's YouTube. It's Flow Racing. It's Dirt Vision.
Hulu. I know you subscribe to Hulu or you subscribe to Paramount. Like, it's just amazing to me, how things have changed. It's just your generation is so, and that's where we've got to keep up with that technology, and that's just how it is. And streaming racing is the way it is. Flow Racing signed on with NASCAR, and hopefully we'll have their help here eventually. But we think it's something we have to do on our own, and that's what KCSI is helping us with, and we hope to eventually figure out a way to do this better.
It's interesting too. They were actually talking. Dale Jr. was talking about this week, that track promoters were worried about. If you stream races, people aren't going to show up. Well, down south, they have figured out that the streams have created so much buzz around the track.
That's right.
That now these people are like, oh my gosh, I got to get down there, and they're driving hour and a half to go to these tracks, and then. So hopefully if we can get some streams down here, that's where we can.
That brings me to a story. I say this a lot, because we've had this discussion as a board, everything else, exactly what you're saying. Ken Burns, who's a great documentarian, and he did a huge one on baseball. Mm-hmm. That was the exact same thing. The baseball owners, when they started doing radio broadcasts and everything, fans aren't going to come. But it was exactly the opposite. They heard that, and then same thing with TV, when they see it, I've got to come and see this live. I've got to see what this is. So,
Well, it's a lot like the feeling I had watching Marshalltown this week. I watched the race, and I'm like, I saw those late models ripping around there, and I'm like, man.
I wish I would have been there.
I should have went.
I know.
Yeah, you just feel stupid.
It just would have been a long night, though. But, I mean, it was incredible.
It's always better in person.
And that's like people that watch, so many people I've known, it's so boring to watch on TV, NASCAR. NASCAR, that stuff, I said, it's so different live, especially local dirt track racing. Don't even think about comparing it.
Well, you get to see those battles for 15th while the stream is watching the battle for the lead. You get to watch a guy come through the pack. So
let's go through some B-Mod results really quick.
Hey, we have a guest here, so we're going to get that done real quick. So
got the flying farmer over here.
Let me get my B-Mod pulled up. I had compacts in front of me. I tell you what, top 10 from last week in our O'Reilly B-Modifieds, 10th place, Evan Davis in the 78 car. Evan's been real consistent again this year. Mark Karg, Shaggy in the 22 was 9th, followed by Josh Sink, the 5 car. Kevin Zeitner made it up to 7th by starting 14th, finishing 7th. Good to have him get a nice finish again this week. Bryce Allen, the 16A, was 6th place, followed by Jared Weston, the 86J. Hunter posting another good run for Hunter. And like Cole already said, unfortunately he can't race tonight. He's got the sore motor. Sean Kralik finishing 3rd in the 0 car. Sean's been consistent all year again as well. David Schwarz in the 57X finished 2nd, but your winner was a 2X car of Matt Avila.
Top 5 in your O'Reilly Auto Parts B-Modifieds point standings after 3 weeks of competition. 5th place is Hunter Poston, 246 points. 4th place is Jared Weston, 249. 3rd place is Daniel Bowder, 253. Sean Kralik in 2nd with 262. And Bryce Allen is your point leader. Currently, by 5 points over Sean Kralik, is Bryce Allen with 267 points. And we're going to get sorted out here. We're going to get the mics rotated out here, and we're going to get our first guest on of the night. Once we get him rolled in here, he's a pretty big guy, so he's got to come in here. These chairs aren't made for for guys that are heavier. So, welcome to the show. This is the 57S, Greenfield, Iowa. David Schwarz, what's up?
Oh, just living the dream, boys.
Just living the dream. First thing I got to ask you, so Dre showed me the T-shirts. Those things are sick.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I don't know if I can find 150 people to buy shirts from me.
Oh, I guarantee you put those things on Facebook and people will buy them. I don't know if Cole's seen them, but Cole,
I have not.
It's corn in the background, and there. I mean, Dre even said, goes, it's definitely probably one of his 5 favorite shirts he's ever made.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty cool.
I know, but welcome to the show. I wanted to get you on because I know you won Wednesday night. You got 2nd last week. This car, man, I'm telling you, Brad Bergen's giving you a good piece, huh?
Not too bad. We struggled a little bit at the beginning, blew a motor up, and then the next night we lost fuel pressure. And both those nights we won our heat races pretty handily. So I said once we got it figured out, it's going to be pretty quick. So we'll see what we do when we start in traffic tonight.
I know you'll have to move around tonight for sure, but
I don't even have a tire mark on it yet, so that's going to... my goal tonight is to put a tire mark on it. So
you heard it here first. He jinxed himself. But it's you went from an Edge now to a Rage, and you've got 2 Rages right beside you, and you got Gar probably wrenching on it for you a little bit. He's probably telling, "Oh, you need to do this and you need to do that." But you guys have a really good time down there. But you're a guy that you started out and you were mildly consistent. And then you got an Edge, and you were here. But now, I mean, you're like, it's like new car, new you, right?
It's pretty good, but we've started up front quite a bit. So,
well, I know
we'll
Wednesday night, I had to give you a little crab. You were front row Joe Wednesday night. And I think the first time you won a Stewart,
that was front
row as well. Hey, but a win's a win. And
when you're as bad as I am, you get.
Oh, you ain't bad.
You get to start up front once in a while. So that's just part of it. In a few weeks, we'll start up front here again.
But again, you got guys down here that you're holding off, and it's impressive. You got guys up there at Stewart that you're holding off. I mean, you got guys like Braden Carter and guys like that. I mean, you're holding off. It's not like you're running away with it.
Yeah, there's some guys down here they'll get their cars figured out. I mean, Weston and Bryce, and Kralik, of course. They'll figure it out.
I know.
It's never given to you, even if you do start in the front. I hate starting on the front row, just for the simple fact is you only have one direction to go, and that's backwards. So,
So back in the day, we had a flying farmer. His name was Carl Ritterbusch. He was a long-time late model driver. He's retired. Now we have a new guy. I gave you the nickname last year, and it just stuck, man. It's awesome. Now look at us.
I should be home farming right now.
Right.
Probably,
we got T-shirts now. They got corn on them. I wish I told Dre. I said we should have put some cornrows in the wrap, but he said it would have. He's really particular about the colors and everything like that. He said it would have made it too ugly,
too corny.
He did a really nice job.
Too corny.
The shirts are pretty nasty. I haven't even put it out on Facebook or anything yet. But
yeah, so race fans, make sure you look out for David's Facebook post because it'll be coming here soon. I'm definitely getting one because those things are sweet, and you trust me, you're not going to have trouble selling shirts. And the other good thing is too, and I'll tell you this, and other drivers don't really know this, but our souvenir stand is open. You can bring shirts over here and we'll sell them for you.
Nice, I didn't know that.
So yeah, we will sell them for you. So we've always used our souvenir stand for that. I know Wiggins has brought over shirts in the past and things like that, but yeah, we will actually sell them for you. Cool. So, cool. But David, you've been you missed 1 week because you blew a motor, but you've been a guy that I feel like you're just really confident this year the way you're racing.
I'm trying to be humble on this and not because I'm on the radio, of course.
Right.
But it's pretty good. The car's pretty good. It drives easy. It's just like you're out for a Sunday drive, but I've also started up front. So the next few weeks are gonna
a little tougher.
We'll find out how good the car is and how good I am. And I'm not going to say that I'm good by any means. I make mistakes every lap.
So who is helping you the most right now besides you? I mean, who do you got, setup wise? How much is, Gar helping you, things like that?
Well, the Gar side, the whole crew and Wiggins,
right? Because they've run rages for a while now. So
I talk to Colton every single day throughout the day. Clint's pretty knowledgeable. Andy Eckridge is precision. They're just, he'll text me after the heat race in Stewart. It's pretty impressive, and it's just we've just been working on it, just tinkering on it, and just having fun, I guess.
And I feel like you've been a lot happier. I feel like this year.
Oh, I wouldn't.
I know some nights I come down there and you're sometimes down on yourself after a bad night. I feel like you've been happier this year and things like that. So
well, a year ago right now I still had like 1,500 acres of corn to plant. So
hey, the weather's been good.
I'm in a lot better mood on just overall, I should say.
How much you got left?
I have all my soybeans left. The corn's done. So.
Come on now, you should be done by now.
Well, this week we'll get done this week. we gotta get done this week because we have 3 days of racing next week.
I was gonna say because we got this weekend, we got next Saturday, and then you got Memorial Day weekend. So I'll be up there too. So up at Stewart. So. But again, what's the plans for the rest of the year? I know here in Stewart, are you going to run anywhere else or?
Yeah, once we get caught up here a little bit, we're going to go race a lot. we're just gonna go out and
that makes you better.
I want to get to Marshalltown. I want to do that Midwest Madness tour again. And
that'd be fun.
Last year I just did I skipped the first night and did the rest, and I want to do the whole thing. And I hate to say it, it's a long ways away, but like the Clay County Fair.
Oh yeah,
that
I've always wanted to go up to that racetrack.
Yeah, I shouldn't say because I'm on the radio station at Adams County, but it's my favorite racetrack hands down. It's just a beautiful facility, and the track it gets unbelievably dry and it doesn't rubber up. It's just it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, so I've mentioned it too to my dad when we watch on IMCA TV every once in a while when Clay County races on Monday nights, and it's a track that I've always wanted to get to because exactly what you said. I cannot believe how slick and dry it gets, and it just does not rubber up. I don't understand.
We went up there twice last year, and we didn't do very well each time, but it was just a blast. And I know I've been there a few times now, so I think we could be competitive there.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll try it. We're just going to race a lot.
That's a track I'd like to see a big late model show at. I think that it seems like no matter what cars they put on that track, it just puts on one heck of a show. So.
And I know it's a track too that doesn't race, every single week, and it's kind of a specials track. So that's just one of those racetracks. Again, you wish it was closer to home, but I'd love to see it in Marshalltown. I think that'd be a fun track for you.
So I'm going to go to Marshalltown at some point in time this year. I've been there and watched once with Wiggins years ago on the Frostbuster deal, and I've watched a lot of highlights, of course, and it just looks like a lot of fun.
You gonna rip the lip lap one, or
I don't know. I don't know. You never know. I was planning on running the top in Stewart, and thank God I didn't because it got pretty single file on the bottom.
Yep. So it was, but again, you've started out, you've just improved every year, and I feel like you're a guy that's dedicated enough to where you're very competitive.
Yeah, I don't like to do something unless I'm going to be. I'm going to put everything.
You like
to
do it right.
Yeah, I want to be well at what I'm doing. So.
Well, it's definitely a delight to see up there. I know you're a guy that I always root for wherever you race because you're a good, honest guy, and you put on a good show. You're a clean racer. You don't drive over people and things like that. But I know the only issue I've seen is, especially in one, you like to push a lot. It gets really tight.
It's two completely different corners.
I know.
So
it goes from wide to tight, and then tight to, it goes from tight to wide, and then wide to tight.
Kralik and I were talking last week after the races, and he was right on me going into one, and I started pushing like a dump truck, and he's like, "Oh shoot!" And then all of a sudden he was too, and he probably would have passed me if not, but he just followed me right around, and Matt did not.
He's got some. I mean, that kid can wheel a car, man.
He's pretty salty.
Yeah, I know. So, and I couldn't believe it because you guys were, typically running the bottom, and he was the only guy running and I thought the top was too dirty to run anyway. And I don't know. It just must have been.
Those cautions didn't help. I mean,
I know
there was so many cautions.
I mean, you were a victim of restart after restart after restart, and we know, I
might need those this week.
You're in the B mod class, so it happens. It happens. We know, but again, when you're up front, you hate cautions. When you're starting where you're starting tonight, you're hoping for cautions.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Again, it just evens out. But we thank you for coming up. We appreciate it. Who do you need to thank really quick?
Oh, everybody that's involved. The Garside clan, Wiggins, my hired man Joel. We farm all day and then we work on this thing all night. So
you guys don't get tired of each other?
Well, we haven't yet. There's a lot of racing left this summer. So I mean, there's times where we have.
You got beans to plant too. So
we just look at each other, and I know he has things to say to me, and sometimes I blurt those things that I have to say to him out, and he doesn't say anything. So my parents, the family, just fortunate enough to be able to have a hobby like this. So.
Yeah. Well, make sure you go get yourself one of them cheeseburgers. I know you like them cheeseburgers.
Make sure you bring one over tonight.
Okay. We always do. We always have leftovers. So, good luck tonight. We wish you the best of luck. And if I don't see you until next week, I'll see you after the races. But I do want to wish you luck again next weekend and at Stewart. I know we got a big weekend coming up there. I'll root for all my local guys up there. I'll be up there too. So
sounds good.
Best of luck and keep her straight passing cars tonight.
I will do that.
All right, race fans, that was the driver of the number 57S. That's David Schwarz. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with you here on Pitside Live.
Too busy at work to wait in a long line at Subway? Order online at order.subway.com. Simply register with your email and password and order away. You can also download the Subway app on your smartphone. Order up to 6 subs, salads, or pizza. Ready in 15 minutes once order is submitted. Also add chips, cookies, and drinks easily. And Subway's back to normal hours Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Order online at Subway in Red Oak, Clarinda, Shenandoah. Best Finish Auto Sales and Service is proud of the quality used vehicles they sell and their dedication to serve the needs of their customers. Whether it's your first purchase or one of many that you've had, you can count on their dedicated sales staff to make the best buying experience possible. They also offer financing on your vehicle purchase. Best Finish can also take care of your service needs, from oil change, brakes, alignment, air conditioning, to any body shop and repair needs. Stop by Best Finish Auto Sales and Service at 209 Sharp Street in Glenwood for all of your vehicle needs. Feeders Grain and Farm Supply in Corning, representing the most recognized and trusted brands in the industry, as well as locally sourced products. Stop by and see a full lineup of Purina products to handle all of your livestock needs. And if you need Sioux steel gates, they've got you covered. Browse the store and they're confident you'll find what you're looking for, or they'll order it in for you. Feeders Grain and Farm Supply in Corning, supporting all of 4-H and FFA members. That's Feeders Grain and Farm Supply in Corning.
Welcome. Hey, there we are. Hey, welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live here down at the Speedway, and welcome on to our KCSI YouTube channel as well. Good to have you on board. Time to go through a few Chat Mobility Hobby Stock results here with you. So last week's top 10 in the Chat Mobility Hobby Stocks was the 10th place, Derek Myers in the 5 car, followed by defending champion Luke Ramsey in the 17 car. Tanner Dixon, the 22D, was 8th. Buddy Heidsick, the week before's winner in the 16 car, was 7th. Chris Foote, great run for Chris Foote, the 21F car in the 6th place. Cody Warner in the 21 car, also a 21 car, in the 5th place.
Too many 21s.
For him. 7H of Adam Hensel was 4th place. Good run by Matt Hudson in the 38H. Eric Hensley got out front, finishing 2nd with that old crafty veteran, the Silver Fox. Tom Myers in the 7 car was your winner.
Top 5 in Chat Mobility Hobby Stocks point standings. 5th place is Chris Foote out of Bedford, 223 points. What an improvement by this guy so far this year. 4th place is Tom Myers out of Glenwood, 244. 3rd place, Luke Ramsey out of Bedford with 265. 2nd place is Adam Hensel with 269. And your point leader right now by 4 points is Buddy Heidsick out of Bedford, the 16 with 273. But you two, we got a new face for radio here. It's Tom Myers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So the good thing,
the
good thing is, Tom, is Tiff can go back and watch you over and over and over now and over and over, and she can just critique you and.
Yeah. She doesn't need to watch me to do that.
There you go.
But Tom, feature last week, man. Everybody was running mid to top, and you ran the bottom. And like I always say, if you run the bottom at this speedway, it's a huge advantage. And you figured something out last week, huh?
Well, the first couple of weeks we experimented with a few things, and they didn't work at all. So we went back to what we were running before, and I've run the bottom a lot. I've won a lot of races on the bottom here at this track, but the track was real slick and abrasive. And everybody was running up in that stuff, and I found a little grip down by the grass, and I just stayed down there and just being consistent, and it paid off.
You know, it's something where, you know, Tom, I've watched ever since I was a little kid, and you've always been up there no matter what the race is, and I'm always looking for the 7 car and where is he at now, and you're just a guy that's so patient. Sometimes I feel like you're just going with the motions out there, and then here he comes. It's just like, I just don't understand. Your driving style is just so patient, I feel like.
Well, I'm not a real emotional guy. I don't get real excited about stuff, so I can keep my cool. You know, somebody bumps me or I make a mistake, I just I let it go and just go about my business.
And I feel like that's what sets you apart. So, but it is top of the hour. You're listening to KCSI here on 95.3 FM out of Red Oak, and we're here on the YouTube channel, KCSI Radio YouTube channel. We're here with Tom Myers. It is 6 o'clock. We got to do a little station identification there.
KOAK AM.
Yep, KOAK 1080 AM out of Red Oak as well. But, Tom, he was one of the original, right? Was he one of the original hobby stock guys?
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah, well, yeah, but...
How many years ago was that?
There was 5 of us here.
I know what year it was.
20.
Do you remember it to this day?
I was going to do trivia.
2001.
That's right.
Do you remember it to this day?
Yeah.
Yep.
You remember it? And things have changed a little bit,
That
haven't
was
it?
a trivia question I was going to try to have later on this year. Was,
there you go.
They started. So we've already let the cat out of the bag.
Things,
if you're listening, you'll know the answer.
Things have changed a little bit, huh?
Oh, yeah. When we first started that year, there was 5 of us, and it was a learning curve for the track, too, I think, because they would wet down the track and send 4 cars out on this greasy track, and we're just sliding around. I mean...
And there was one guy that got a nickname out of that, too, wasn't there?
Yeah, 360
Rick.
That's right. But, yeah, by the end of the season, by the end of that season, we had 20 or 22 cars. And then a few years later, we had 45 cars showing up.
It was incredible.
See features.
It was fun to see. And, to me, you guys cut your teeth, I think, because I was going there with the Eagle. You were already at Eagle before this, if I remember.
No, I was at Harlan.
Okay, I knew her somewhere, but Eagle was running too. Because didn't Ray? No, Ray ran trucks for a little while. Didn't he?
Ray and Rick ran over to Eagle. And Ray was running Harlan in a hobby stock.
Okay, and he was running a truck over there, wasn't he?
No, he never ran a truck.
I thought he ran a truck.
John Vandervoort.
Okay.
I'm
trying to remember. I'm old, too long. But
John and Rick ran trucks over at Eagle, and then Tony Budd, who ran a hobby stock here a few times for a year or two. That we were all friends, and
so this is Rick Pitzer and Ray Knipe, correct?
Yep.
I do remember.
And we were living in Glenwood at that time. We would go Friday night to Eagle.
I was in kindergarten in 01, so I remember some of it.
You went to Eagle.
Well, I didn't even start. I didn't even know that dirt tracks existed. I went to school to be a mechanic and wound up in restaurants somehow. But but my brother-in-law, Ray, he was racing at Harlan. We went to watch him, and I'm like, I got to get me one of those. And I was 29 years old. I didn't even start racing until later, and that's fine. I had a family I was raising and stuff anyway, but so I started late. Now I'm older, but I still got to show them once in a while I can still whip them.
There you go, and you can. And you got your what? You got your first track championship at what age?
I was 50.
Yeah. I mean,
49.
Right.
49.
And that's 20 years after
49.
you started.
You're
so
still 49, right?
But you're a veteran now. You've been around this place so many times. You probably know exactly, you know exactly what to do. It seems like. I mean, I don't know how you'd want to even change it. You've been racing so long that it's like you got to just know exactly what to do, right? Or just.
Well, I mean, I would hope so, but I mean the track's just different every night,
right?
And you have to find, you have to find it. Sometimes I don't find it, and then I don't finish that grade. And sometimes it's not there for me in my driving style, but and I'm not the best one out there, but I like to be consistent and I like to win a few.
Okay. Well, Tom, it's something that you have, you've been an ambassador for our hobby stock class now for years, and you got Derek in it now. He's improved a lot, and I'm sure you're helping him out a lot as well. But I know you got your grandkids too. I'm sure your grandkids are super into racing. I've seen them, and maybe that's in the future, right? Maybe get them in a car, right?
Yeah, they love it. Maybe sometime a kart. I don't know.
Yeah, go-kart.
Yeah.
Well, so we've talked about this actually.
We have.
We've talked about I-80's now closed. We want to get a go-kart track back down here. I know that's something that we've been, talking about for the last, 6 months or so. So that's in the works. Hopefully we can get one because I feel like it'd be amazing. Because, the youth of the sport's got to get back into it, man.
Right, yeah.
We used to have one right down there.
Yep.
So.
There's one. The corner's still down there. But, you mentioned that you somehow got in the restaurant business. And we lived in Glenwood for 12 years. And awesome place to eat. Tom and Tiff's right there in Glenwood, Iowa. And, I know you have a background in that, and you also have helped us here at our concession stand before too. So, and it was really much appreciated too when you guys were doing that too. It was awesome.
I see they're still doing the cheese balls and chicken strips.
Yep, we sure are. Absolutely.
Can't beat it.
You learn things. You over all the thing. And
Cole's over here snacking on some chicken strips. That's bad luck.
So, I know Lance was just in here, and I got a text message that we're yakking about cotton candy that we make now. We have a fun doing it. But where is the cotton candy?
What?
Who brought the cotton candy up?
I put it in the concession stand.
Okay.
Yeah.
They texted me, where's the cotton candy at? So
it's in the concession
Lance
stand.
Is going down there to get it. So okay.
Yeah.
So.
It's in the concession stand.
So all you people are listening.
No, I stole it all.
The cotton candy will be at the souvenir trader any second now.
Yeah,
so,
I stole it all.
Stop by and get a bag before you go across the tracks.
We got pink vanilla, we got cherry, and we got blue raspberry.
So it's a thing we
don't go eating it all.
We bought it. We bought a machine 2 or 3 years ago and just had fun with it. But now we're starting to do it now, and we have fun at night. Or now it's in my garage. We were coming out. I said it's easier to do in the garage. We can have fun. So
the garage was just full of smoke last night. We're hot boxing the garage of cotton candy sugar.
So
it was a good time though.
I don't mean to interrupt you. We're looking online. Oh, they make chocolate. They make cinnamon. They make my word. So
I'm
whatever.
sure you can get anything.
So yeah, it's just like.
Oh, dude, they have some nasty. They got hot cinnamon. They got maple syrup.
Yeah, we're
it's like ew.
So maybe breakfast cotton candy. Anyway, Tom, I'm sorry to interrupt you on that, but it's so great. I know. I think you've build up a great reputation here, and you're a great ambassador to this place, and we really appreciate you guys coming here. Tiff, talked to her a lot, and I know you've always helped with doing giveaways and stuff like that, but it's so great to have you, and now your son racing, he's knocking on the door, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's getting better.
So
the seat time, and
yep.
He's trying to figure his car out, but he is getting better. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He went from struggling finishing. Now he's super competitive. So
I think it was, everything when you're official runs together. But I think we were talking one time that this year it was you and your son were head to head, and I don't think it was a heat race or whatever. But
yeah,
I said,
in a heat race.
I said, you ain't gonna give him to him. You ain't gonna give it to him.
What's going through your mind at that point?
That was a heat race.
Yeah.
I got beside him and I went into turn 3 on the last corner, and I went in too straight, and the car pushed instead of. I should have if I winged it in, I might have been able to got him, but.
Did it just break your heart, or
no? I mean,
well, he got me.
My philosophy on heat races is if I'm in the transfer position,
right? Exactly.
I'm not going to push wrecking my car.
Yeah,
or anything,
exactly.
So.
Right.
Exactly.
Unless you're my friend Tanner Dixon, who threw a slider on the last lap of Tyler Gray in the heat race. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I'm putting on a show. I'm like, it's a heat race. I'm like, what are you? I went and gave him crap afterwards. I'm like, Tanner, what are you doing? And
if you ain't first, you're
Tyler. So that's, believe it or not, Tanner owns Tyler Gray's car too. And Tyler's like, dude, it's a heat race. And Tanner's like, I ain't losing to that car.
Yeah.
But. Well, Tom, we'll get you out of here. We got to get another guest on here, but who do you want to thank really quick? So, I know you got probably quite a few. Oh, he's got a list. So
yeah, I got a list.
Absolutely. So,
well, first I'd like to thank my smoking hot wife.
Good job.
My kids and my grandkids, who are my biggest fans, and Matt, my crew chief. If it wasn't for him putting the car together and keeping it running, I wouldn't be here because I don't have the time. So, low budget performance. My brother helps me a lot. Kirsch Trucking, Volcanic Peppers, Tom and Tiff's Family Restaurant, Myers Snow Removal, Zach Smith, Auto Tech in Glenwood, and Jet Racing. That's about it.
I was wondering if you were still doing the pushing snow or not.
Oh yeah, we got 7 trucks, and
wasn't a very busy year this year, really.
No.
Was it? Yeah.
That's not a bad thing, though.
No, it is. It is a bad thing.
Yeah, where's the snow?
Before you get out of here, I got to ask, I think I've asked you this before. What's Volcanic Peppers?
Volcanic Peppers is it's a small business in Bellevue.
Okay.
And they have a storefront and a website, volcanicpeppers.com. They do rubs, sauces.
Interesting.
He's big into that. So.
Oh yeah, I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, look it up. For sure, they have some great sauces and rubs, and anywhere from mild to
volcanic.
We have a new place here in town now too. We have a new place here in town now too. So.
But
we do.
It's locally owned in Bellevue.
Okay.
Like I said, he does a lot more probably online. Just go online. You can order whatever you want.
Cool.
And I mean, you can go in stores and Council Bluffs and Omaha and find his stuff too. So.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on. We wish you good luck tonight.
Yeah.
I know you're going to have to pass some cars tonight, but you did last week, so what's the difference?
Hey, it's all good.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming over. Good luck. Back her up at night.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, race fans, that was driver number 7 car, Chat Mobility Hobby Stock, Tom Myers. You want to take a quick break
we'll
really
take
quick?
a quick break so we can mic up our next guy. And,
all right.
We'll be right back with you. All right.
What if we could harness the power of the sun by using the earth to transform the way we use energy? Water furnace geothermal systems are simply the most efficient way to keep your family comfortable. Winter or summer, day or night, rain or shine, without burning fossil fuels. Giving you the freedom to focus on life.
Call Camlin Mechanical or visit camlinmechanical.com for your water furnace needs today.
What if we could harness the power of the sun?
Even if it's been years since you graduated, your college team is your team for life. Well, you can have a Farm Bureau agent for life, and auto, and home, and business insurance. Imagine that. One insurance agent for everything. It's that simple. So get a Farm Bureau agent for life.
Contact Farm Bureau agent Elizabeth Davison in Clarinda and Shenandoah at 712-621-2878 for all your insurance and financial needs.
Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Property and Casualty.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live here on KCSI 95.3 out of Red Oak, KOAK 1080 AM. And on the YouTube channel, we got another guest here, youngster driver. He's about my age, out of Bagley, Iowa. Are you still out of Bagley?
Yep, still out of Bagley.
Brock Badger, the 50B. Welcome to the show. You're a guy that started racing down here. I know Josh kind of got you down here, and yes, I know Josh kind of got you down here, and you've been really improved, man. I mean, I started watching you at Stewart, and you were a guy that was middle of the road, learning a little bit, and now, man, holy smokes, you found something last week.
Yeah, no, starting before we got in with Josh, it was just kind of, we got our first car and just kind of driving around and having some fun with it, and then got kind of competitive, but was still just kind of middle of the road. And then once we got in with Josh, I mean, he's one that will push you to do what you need to do. So, I mean, and now with getting this car all set up the way it is, I mean, we're gaining some ground now. So
right, you've kind of developed a knack for this track. I know in the past you've raced nothing but typically smaller tracks. Maybe you raced Harlan on back when Harlan was bigger. But when you first came down here, what was your first impression of this place, if you can remember it?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a lot, but it's the biggest track besides. I mean, I went to Bristol the first year they had it, so that was the biggest one I've been on. But after that, this is the biggest one I've been on. And I mean, we've been to some other bigger tracks like Harlan before it got shortened, and then we went like up to Alta. We've been to.
Yep.
And we went up to Park Jefferson one time. And so, I mean, I like the bigger tracks. I mean, it's better. But down here, it's so a little bit different because the corners aren't really short and they aren't really wide. So, it comes in with a little different driving technique to get through the corners and stuff. But we're getting it figured out.
Right. I know, again, you're a young stock car guy, and we really appreciate you coming down here because, we're looking for anybody who is willing to come down here and run with us because we want that stock car class to be big. But we're looking forward to Tradition this year. We got a big race. I know we're doing a big stock car race this year for Tradition. We're going to have a huge announcement soon here. I know there's a series that we're going to do. It's going to be big money. So I know we're really looking forward to that, and I know you'll probably be here for that. But you're a guy that's been just over the past year or so, you've really stepped up your game, I feel like. How much is that you, and how much is that chassis builder Josh?
I mean, it goes hand in hand. He's learned. I mean, he was learning a lot too because he didn't do nothing with stock cars before, and then we were the ones that really started that with him. And so once we kind of started figuring that stuff out, he was starting to figure out how to set it up, and he was telling me how I needed to drive and stuff. And so getting those two together really pushed it and got us to where we are now. So
here's the question. I know Josh brought the sprint car. You gonna hot lap it?
I'm not allowed to hot lap it tonight.
Would you drive it?
I've drove one before.
Oh my God! But not here though.
Not here.
Lord.
No, but no.
I mean, you gotta talk. I mean, you gotta have some cojones to do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of horsepower in them cars. So I mean, if you're not prepared for it, it'll kind of throw you for a loop. But
oh my God! But he's gonna hot lap it tonight. But you've got with the right guy. Josh Most is a definite guy who knows this racetrack like the back of his hand, for one thing, because it's his home track. He builds a lot of cars, and he knows he typically knows exactly what it needs. So you're in the right company, and I feel like you probably know that. So, but I just appreciate you guys supporting us, and I like watching you at other racetracks now because I know you're one of our local guys, and you're young too, so you're only going to get better. But what's some plans for the rest of the year?
Oh, most of our plans this year is obviously we're probably going to race here weekly just to keep coming down, and then we're going to start going out and hitting some bigger shows. Got changed jobs, so I got a lot more free time now.
Cool.
So we can go out and go.
You going to race Stewart next weekend?
We'll see if we'll make Stewart. I don't know.
Gotcha. I didn't know because I always root for my local guys anywhere. So, but Cole, you got anything for him?
Well, I just wanted to ask, it seems like every night you're out here, you're on the high side. Is that where you love to be, up on the high side?
It's way better to be up on the high side. And especially like when you're out there and there's walls all the way around it, it hurts a little less when you hit it. So
yeah. That's right. So, but you've developed a name for yourself down here. You're definitely a guy to a force to be reckoned with. You beat Buck last week. That's hard to beat. You beat Brad Derry. That's hard. Scuba's a former 2-time track champion. Scuba was really good back when we were young. So, but you're just right up there, man. Is there anybody you want to thank really quick before we get you down there? Hot laps, anything like that? Anybody you like to shout out here? We're on YouTube. We're live on the radio here. So
yeah, I got to thank my dad. Well, my mom and my dad. They put up with me and doing some crazy stuff all the time. So, and
oh, it's not that crazy.
Oh, I don't. Mom always tells me I give her a heart attack. So.
That's just the mom for you.
That's just the mom for you. But Dad, especially Dad, keeping, fitting most of the bills, keeping the car going. And got to thank Scott Weaver, crew chief, and coming down every week and helping us keep it going. And I got to thank Josh, obviously, for putting up with us and always keeping us going and trying new things and seeing what we can explore with. And then all my sponsors, got to thank Green County Agronomy, DJ Septic Service, Save Us Trucking, Brian Gibson Trucking. Oh,
it's hard to do without a list.
Yeah, it's hard to do without a list. JTF Farms, Finish Line Body and Paint. I got Mid States, and then I started my own shock business. So BRS.
There you go. Brock Shocks. That's what you should have done. So
that's what I should have done.
But all right, race fans. Well, we'll get you on your way here. I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit. I wanted to give you a little seat time because you deserve it because you picked up a win last week, and hopefully you'll talk to me again tonight.
Hopefully.
Yeah. All right, race fans. I was driver of the 50B. That's Brock Badger. We're going to get one more guy in here. Cole, really quick here. We're going to get our compact guy in here, but go ahead and come on in here, Andrew. We'll get you switched out here. So, Brock, good luck tonight. Thanks, man. We're coming right down to it here. We're getting down to hot lap session, but I want to get a guy on here who is a guy who, first of all, this is Andrew Akers. If you don't know, he is a first-time winner here at the Speedway in the compacts. First of all, you told me in the interview you had a couple motor changes. What has been going on this year, man?
Well, the motor that's in right now, I took 2 motors to build one. Well,
okay.
I wasn't paying attention and didn't think when I was doing it because I was in a hurry. The crank trigger was different, so I had to pull that motor back out. I had a car that I had bought for the motor, so I yanked that motor out over in a period of a few hours and then put that one in and then raced it, and it was a lap and a half from the end of the feature, and I'm pretty sure it spun a bearing.
Yep, I remember that. So it's been a hell of a year so far. But hey, look at where you're at now. Would you have ever guessed where you'd be at where you're at?
No.
So talk me through the feature a little bit last week. So you ran a really consistent line. You were really steady. You were sticking to your guns. I was so impressed of how consistent you were because John was throwing everything at you, and you knew he was there. And you just, I talked about it an hour ago. Our compact guys, man, they're so improved, and you've been traveling around with Luke every once in a while, and you've been getting better. But what did it take last week, man, to hold off everybody and just be consistent?
Most of it's probably luck.
I don't know, man. You might say luck, but it was impressive to watch out there.
I saw that nose. I'm like, I'm going to make you work for it, John. And you're not just going to take it from me. But
the place that you got him was corner exit, because he would kind of dive bomb in on you, and you were backing your corners up a little bit, and you're building the momentum through the whole corner. And personally, if I were in one, that's what I would try to do, because I think when you slide your car, you're scrubbing speed, and I think that's, like he said, you were running a really consistent line, and I think that's what kept you out in the lead. So
yeah. I started off smooth. I'm like, all right, I'm not. The beginning of the feature, I realized that where I was running, just kind of being smooth on the track last week was a little bit better than getting aggressive with it. So,
and John's won quite a few races here now, and you're a winner now, and I'm sure it just feels so good, man.
It does.
'Cause you've been running here a while now, and you've been in cars where they've been good, they've been bad, mechanical issues, this and that. But you got a great crew down there that helps you. You're with the right people. I mean, you can't get no better help than Luke and Buddy and guys like that. So it's just super impressive, what you got. And but I'm just proud to see a new guy in there. You're a very deserving guy. You're a guy that works hard at it. I know Luke and Buddy were super excited for you too. So I remember when you got out of that car, man, you were shaking.
Oh yeah.
So tell me that feeling, man, when you crossed the checkered flag. What was the first thing that went through your mind?
I caved my roof up probably about 3 inches, and then caved it back down when I was beating on it.
I know. John probably gave you a thumbs up on the backstretch, but John came and gave you a high five there. And I wanted to tell you too, that move you did on the front stretch, that was a veteran move, man. That's something you have to do, because I don't know, it would have been close.
It would have been. That was actually a bit of a panic moment, because coming out of 4, I was getting right after it, and it started drifting towards the wall, and I'm like, oh!
Yep.
And it grabbed and darted down the track.
Believe it or not, though, I mean, sometimes you have to do that kind of stuff. I mean, it's a win or lose situation. I would have done the same thing. So, and it was just a really good race, and I was very impressed the way you raced it, because again, our compact guys have improved so much that back in the day when you first started, so squirrely, everybody was all over the place. I don't know how you feel this year, but I feel like our compact class this year, there's a group of guys now that are strong, man.
Yeah, I mean, I always hate when people talk down on compacts anywhere, whether it's some other track where they just run whatever they've got.
Right.
Like here, I mean, we're actually starting to put on some pretty good shows. And
I was talking about it an hour ago. You guys are the most improved class by far, and I always ask the same guys, why do you race down here at Corning? Because you're actually you're flying out there. So, but I've been very impressed, and I know a lot of people have said the same thing. I've had many people come up to me this year and say, man, that compact class this year has been impressive. And that's good, man. I mean, that's what we want. And it's because of guys like you, and you're really starting to figure it out now, and hopefully you don't have any more problems. But is there anybody you want to thank really quick before we get you going? I know you probably got to go hot lap, things like that. So
yeah, my wife, Midori, my son, Asher, and the whole Ramsey crew, the whole, I don't know what you want to call it, the quarter of the pits down there.
There's 75,000 people over there. So
it's a village down there.
I mean, Luke's got a whole list of people. I'm like, ooh, booey.
Yeah. I've got Scotty and his boy Daniel for letting me take over half of their shop, because that's where the lift's at for 3 nights. I've still got 2 motors setting up there right now in the way.
Gotcha.
And Ramsey grinding, forage, and B&L snow removal. It's all kind of one and the same. I've got my mom with Llama Mama. She's the one we wrapped some vinyl on it over the week, and she cut out some pretty good looking numbers. They're
cool.
Old school.
Awesome. Cool. No more duct tape anymore?
No.
Hey, duct tape adds 5 horsepower. I always said that.
That was the plan as long as the new motor worked out the first time.
Well, you won, so let's make it look a little better.
Yeah. I took a hammer and a pry bar in a couple places trying to push the panels back out.
Yeah, I know one thing. One guy said to me, he's like, man, how is that car fast? Because she don't look too hot. I'm like, hey, it don't matter what it looks like on the outside.
It's the golf ball effect with all the wrinkles. It's back in air and there. And she's
yeah.
Anybody else you want to thank really quick?
Off the top of my head, I think that's about it.
Well, Andrew, I wish you luck again tonight, man. I know it meant a lot to you finally winning, and the good thing is all that crew down there can now go back and watch us on YouTube, give you crap. So
yeah, Luke actually was telling me just a couple nights before, he goes, if you don't crack off a win, I'm gonna be real mad. We're gonna have to have serious talk.
Well, you got it done. So
Yep.
let's get you out of here, man, and you can go hot lap, and we wish you luck, and keep her straight, keep them new numbers straight. So. All right, race fans. So that was a driver, the number 28 car, Andrew Akers. Are we getting somebody else in really quick? Oh boy, we got a wily veteran over here. Oh man. All right, race fans. This is the man of the this is the anchor, the anchor of the show, and he's freshly shaved. He's coughing now. That was a long walk up the stairs, wasn't it?
It was.
All right, this is Chubs, Jesse Dennis. Okay, Chubs. So this race car, tell me a little bit about it.
It's a 23 Skyrocket. It's just going good right now. I don't know.
It sucks. So I know last year I talked to you a little bit. You were contemplating so much about what car to get, what you wanted to drive. You were thinking about going GRT. You were thinking about doing this. Joey was talking to you, trying to get you a Rage and everything like that, and you stuck with Kelly. And look at you now, man.
Yeah, Kelly came. We talked through the year last year, and he said that he had some things going. So him and Jim Chisholm, they built that car, and it's fast.
It's not just fast.
I mean that thing. Oh man, it moves.
You can't see yourself out there.
I tell you what, looking at that car, it is just crazy how much that car is on the right front. I mean, it looks like a dirt late model going around the track the way it's leaning. And did that take a lot of adjusting to get used to? I don't know.
It's weird. I don't know. It's just a different driving style. You got to drive the thing pretty hard to really make it work. But
well, you're good at that.
Yeah, it does. It does work. So.
Well, I was just so surprised, you started out in Marshalltown, you ran the bottom. You raced at Stewart. I saw some video, you were on the bottom. And I feel like this car is just so maneuverable.
I think it is. I think 2 weeks ago was the first time I actually put it up top, and so that was kind of a different deal. So
well, that's where you usually run.
So now the car is getting more comfortable.
I feel like the rear end on that thing, man, is just so hiked up.
Yeah.
Do you like it like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like when you're sitting, you're like sitting like this.
It's better for pictures.
A lot of IMCA cars are all ended up being about like that. So
right, and I mean, I feel like these things, man. I know when I noticed it, and I talked to Joey about it too. The right front camber now.
Yep.
I mean, holy smokes.
Yep.
It's way different. So, but okay, so 3 wins now. Going for a 4th tonight. Are you gonna let anybody else win, or what are you gonna do here?
No, you can't win them all. So I mean,
well, I talked to Dre Hampel. I don't know if you know this, but that was your 72nd career win here.
Nice.
So you were at 69.
Nice.
After the end of the year, and Dre goes, man, he screwed that up. But you're at 72 now. Does 72 feel any different from 1?
No. It's just not as, I don't know. The first one's always going to be your most memorable one. And
do you still remember it?
Oh, yeah. I still got the trophy up on the wall, and I can tell everybody which one, my first one and my second one. After that,
do you have all your trophies? You give away some of them,
I gave away quite a few of them. So
I was going to say, there ain't enough room.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, plans for the year, I know here, you've raced Stewart a couple times now. You've raced Marshalltown a couple times now. You talked about going down to Lakeside. What's the idea here?
Right now, I think Monday we're gonna go up to Spencer. I'm setting.
Oh yeah, because you start. Where do you start at?
I start second row outside.
Right, because
behind Kelly.
I remember you did make the invert. You looked really good, by the way, too.
Yeah.
So,
and we'll run that race and see what happens after that. I might run up to. I don't know if I'll go up to Marshalltown Friday, but I'll probably do Stewart next Sunday, I think.
Yep, Sunday's just A-Mods. Yep. Yep, we'll be up there too. So I know a lot of guys have been asking me, what your plan is for this year and stuff like that. Are you still thinking about USRA stuff with that other car? Or?
I haven't really got that other motor yet. Really, I don't know if I really want to get into that other car. This one's going pretty good. But
I know. I mean,
unless I have to, I don't know if I really want to drive it.
Right. So I know you're super happy with the equipment you have this year. I know it's probably got to be a relief too, knowing that you made the right decision.
Yep.
So, but who do you want to thank really quick before we can get you out of here? So
Frank's Body Shop, Steve's Yard Care, R&S Auto, Fairley Farms, Peterson Tire, Robinson Construction.
And your dad.
And Frank, and mom, dad, and wife, and kids. So.
Tire Demon still rolling pretty good?
Tire Demon's working pretty good.
Frank's, always grinding on them tires. So
I loved it. As a kid, we'd drive by the shop, and he'd be washing tires out front by the road. Just
the amount of time that Frank takes on tires, it's just ridiculous. So he spends so much time on them tires, but we wish you good luck tonight. I'll be watching at Stewart on Monday. Is Logan going to go up with you again on Monday?
I don't know if he is. I haven't talked to him.
Need to get him to go. If I wasn't working, I'd go with you, but I got to work. So, but because I've always wanted to go up to that racetrack too. But
it's a pretty good racetrack.
What? Oh yeah. Well, race fans, we're going to end the show with Chubs on the radio here. So you've been listening to Pitside Live here. It is 6:30. We thank and appreciate you for listening to us. Join us again next week for another night of racing. Remember, we got sprint cars next week as well. I think we're going to get Chubs in a sprint car, right?
Yeah, if I could fit in one, I would.
Well, that's going to do it for another show here, race fans. You're listening to KCSI 95.3. We thank and appreciate you, and we'll get Chubs on his way. Wish him luck tonight, and we'll see you guys next week, and thanks for listening.